Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a podcast and videocast from univrm.com. Today is one of our opinion articles titled Neo-Slavery, Ownership, Elderly, Female, Religions, and Despair. Opinion articles express opinions, and chances are the reader will not like anything in this article. Taking our article's title in reverse order, despair. As a verb, it means to give up as beyond hope or expectation. Also as a verb, it means to cause despair or to be hopeless, to have no hope or to give up all hope or expectation. There are many reasons for despair. 20% of the people in the world live on less than $1.25 per day. 50% of the people in the world do not have access to clean water or sanitation. 600 million people under the age of 18 live in extreme poverty with little or no education. Due to governmental, religious, business, and sociological cultures, millions commit suicide every year. We don't blame them, and in fact, life in despair is not life. In every age group, every sexual orientation, every country, the rate of despair climbing, and it's easy to see why. Isolation by age, color, creed, sexual orientation, economic condition has ripped the 50,000-year-old tribal compact to shreds. Despair among people will get worse. Religion, a noun defined as a set of beliefs concerning the cause, nature, and purpose of the universe, especially when considered as the creation of a superhuman agency or agencies, usually involving devotional and ritual observances and often containing a moral code governing the conduct of human affairs. There is nothing good about religion. It is another way of controlling people's actions. It is one of the greatest burdens of humanity and constantly at odds with other religions. More people have died due to religion than all other causes combined. When combined with government, which it always is, it enables despair, social rejection, dehumanization, slavery, and obedience to superstition. There is no major organized religion that does not subjugate women, minors, and those of lesser economic status, like governments, to lower beings ruled by elite groups of men, as if the omniscient, omnipresent, omni-everything of the universe was a paternalistic, sadistic judge, jury, accountant, and executioner, like an amoeba contemplating a human that is so far beyond their comprehension, the multiverses of everything, the hubris of some order to wield power, the insanity of religion. Female, a person, not a male, with two X chromosomes. Truly amazing to think less than 5 generations ago, 100 years, after most places abolished slavery, females finally allowed to vote. There is no mental, physiological, or other basis for non-equality, in any sense, between males and females. Comprising at least half the global population, they are still subject to laws, rules, social norms, religious prohibitions, and almost every other facet of life, making them less able than males. Some males stronger than other males, some males smarter than other males, some females stronger than males, some females smarter than males, and that is nothing more than pure fact. There is no logical reason for any prescription of any type of female other than the prejudice of the desire to maintain power by certain classes of allegedly elite males. There is no role, profession, job, position, or place in human society where females are not as competent as men, yet subservience and a sense of ownership continues. Complete and utter idiocy promulgated by demagoguery. Elderly, as an adjective defined as a person later in life. The definition of elderly changed with increasing lifespans of Homo sapiens throughout our 50,000-year history. During 95% of human history, elderly were revered members of the tribe. Males maintain biological reproductive capacity while elderly, and that is the only difference between elderly males and elderly females. The current disposal of elderly people from society equates them with burdens, lack of self-awareness, misjudgment, feeble-mindedness, and detritus. A guest author made a point, albeit not too clearly, in one of the prior series of opinion articles. The same lack of judgment and lack of mental capacity associated with new biologically reproductive adults as with elderly adults. Only through the lens of sanctimonious, hypocritical, and rationalized justifications can those viewpoints be seen for other than what they are: absolute bullshit. Ownership. As a noun, defined as legal right of possession. Let's put ownership in its proper place in time and space. Ownership is transitory because any living being will eventually die. The fascination with ownership has grown ever more complicated and rationalized by centuries of laws, norms, social adjustments, and human nature. I own your job. I own your house. I own you. This, of course, makes everyone want to own something in order to have some degree of control over others in the same way they are controlled. Ownership is not bad in and of itself. The problem with ownership comes from its application to people and those things that can control other people. Neo-slavery. As a noun, the definition is new slave, meaning a state of subjugation. Words used to create meanings that are less accurate but more palatable when one wants to obfuscate or hide true meaning. George Orwell, in his book 1984, termed this practice doublespeak. Subjugation has gone on since tribes conquered other tribes. Current subjugation, called being a citizen or subject of a given country. Everyone subjugated to someone else, correlating very closely to feelings of ownership. Subjugation starts at economic, political, religious, legal, and social position, and like a pyramid, goes downhill on all sides. The strangest part of subjugation is the bottom of the pyramid now accepts part of subjugation as normal. The oldest form of human law and religion gave a rite of passage to biologically reproductive adults through education and responsibility. The bar mitzvah for males and bat mitzvah for girls, 13 and 12 respectively, gave them the right to ownership of things, the right to marry, the right to attend temple, and equal rights with other biologically capable adults. This does not mean they were as experienced as elderly people, but physically more capable and will learn over time, generally, with the help of their tribe. Subjugation, at the lowest level, has taken a basic biological fact and turned it into a form of neo-slavery, and subjugation by parents using the same sanctimonious, hypocritical, and rationalized justifications for the elderly, absolute bullshit. Everyone learns subjugation from early on in life, and the longer the period one is subjugated, which encompasses one's entire life, the more one wants to be able to exercise that power as one gets older, until elderly, when one reverts back to increasing subjugation by everyone, including one's whole life subjugated by the state. At the end of the paragraph on despair, we opined it will get worse. A pensioner shooting himself in front of the Greek parliament, Tibetan monks setting themselves on fire protesting Chinese rule, fruit vendors in Egypt setting themselves on fire protesting disenfranchisement, gay kids committing suicide from bullying or loneliness, and the millions of unknown people ending their lives one never hears about. Despair abounds, and the reasons listed in this article just some of the root causes. There is no hope, only actions to create effect. Look at your actions, the actions of those around you, the actions of governments, religions, societies, and business, and know that someday you too will become despair. This has been copyright 2012, univrm.com, trademarked, all rights reserved. At univrm.com, we create original content with humor and satire on current event news, opinion articles, economy articles, science current events, and our science fiction book series titled Change Hope. As an advertisement, there is a Donations Accepted button on our website, www.univrm.com, and donations welcome to help us keep publishing in difficult economic times. As a second advertisement, please remember univrm.com offering our science fiction book series, Change Hope, released as a series on a chapter and book-by-book basis, like the old Amazing Stories magazine. Change Hope available in all ebook formats and as an audiobook. You can download the first chapter free by going to www.univrm.com/downloads/. You can listen to this article via podcast at the iTunes Store by subscribing to univrm.com, or read it on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at the UNIVRM channel. This has been a podcast and videocast brought to you by univrm.com, and we hope to bring you more in future.